Oh God. I'm supposed to actually be working. I have some work to do, but my head is so filled up. What is it? Is it a crime to be Nigerian? What is all this every day? There's always one news or the other. It's so sad what we are going through as a nation, and yet we don't even seem to be fighting it so that one can have hope and say it will soon end. We seem rather to just be sitting down hopelessly, praying and waiting for God to come and help us out. How is it that we do not get it, that God will not do for us what he has given us the capacity to do for ourselves? If I sat down in my house and this video, I didn't do it, but I was just praying to God for God to pass this message to you, will you get it? That's exactly what we are doing. When as Nigerians, we do not take the required actions that we need to do, but we just sit down and we pray to God to make things work. And what we are doing is flocking more and more to our religious houses, and then have the religious rulers, who I normally call slave owners, be there and keep telling you, selling hope to you and telling you to come down. And you find that they are the ones who are doing well. They tell you to pray to God for your security, but they have security men guarding them. You know, in 2014, there was a kind of something that Dr. Obi Ezekwesili said, and it sort of like opened my eyes and a lot of other people to certain things. And that it is this lack of empathy that we all have to each other. During the Biafran War, the rest of Nigeria turned its back on the Southeast people. The people from the Southeast, they suffered the consequences of that war alone, the atrocities that were meted on them. They suffered it. And instead of the rest of the region to rally around them, the region turned themselves away. And guess what? Who was the next victim? Of course, we had the Niger Delta section. Ken Saro-Wiwa and co. They went through so much. The Niger Delta was going through so much. And yet, the rest of the nation turned its back. After all, na your wahala. When the Niger Delta issue was done, we had the June 12th. The Southwest also had their own issue. During the June 10 and all of that, OPC, whatever, they went through so much. The rest of the country, what did they do? They turned away. For those who had already been victims, it was like, okay, now it's your turn. When we were victims, we turned away too. For those who had never been victims, they didn't feel it was any need for them to be bothered. June 12th, the Southwest found their own. Nende, North Central, farmers, this, that, farmers, herders, whatever. People were being killed, people were being massacred. And the rest of the country, what did we do? We looked the other way. It's your problem. Deal with it. Lack of empathy, lack of shared empathy to anyone, giving anyone any empathy seems not to be part of what we are made of. Well, the North Central crisis still ongoing, started. Then you have now what? The Northeast. The Northeast was going through its own crisis. People were being killed. Security agents were killing people. Then the terrorists came in saying that they were fighting security agents and all of that. They also started killing, massacring people. They became unleashing terror and what have you not. What happened? They said they were the fringes. The rest of the country looked the other way and they didn't mind. So now, left, what region was left? It was the Northwest region that was now left, that had not borne the whole of what it is to have the state turning its back on you. And then in Northwest got its own crisis. The killings, the abduction that have been going on in the north, the banditry, and whatever name it is you call it, the terrorism that have been going on. And guess what? As usual, the rest of the country looked the other way. We have come a full circle of all of these atrocities meted on each part of each region of the country, and people have looked the other way. And now it has come full circle. It has gone back to where the atrocities being meted out started, and it's now back to the Southeast. Killings are going on in the Southeast. The security agents are doing a lot of killings. For years now, I've been shouting on the fact that people look the other way and see soldiers, police killing IPOB members, and then people look at issues based on whether they like something or they do not like something. It doesn't work that way. What is wrong, whether you like the people or you don't like the people. It's like when Shiites were being killed. A lot of people look the other way. They weren't bothered because they don't like Shia. It doesn't matter whether you like them or you don't like them. They have a right to life. Their dignity as human beings must be protected. And that's what human rights is all about. It's not whether you like the thing or you do not like it, whether you forbid it or you do not forbid it. It's about the fact that another human being has the right to this earth the way you too have a right to this earth. And we are watching again a whole lot of atrocities happening in the southeast. People are being killed. And now we're having unknown gunmen coming out to take arms. Non-state actors with arms in their hands. We've seen what happened with non-state actors in the hands of every, from the issue of Bakassi boys, OPC, the terrorists. Those ones are even on another level of terrorism. That one, they even went on something that we had never seen before. Now we have the bandits. Now we have kidnappers. Now we have everyone. Is it not time for us to come and begin to make demands when people are being killed? Is it not time for us to tell our government that the primary responsibility of any government is the protection of lives and properties? And any government that cannot protect the lives and properties of its people, it's not fit to be called a government. Isn't it time we make our own life to matter? Can we say that our own life to matter? Can't we make those demands? When we empathize, we are not doing it for the dead. They're dead and gone. They don't even care what's happening on the earth. No, they won't be killed again. The next to be killed are you and I that are alive. And who is next? Many people think it won't be their turn. That's why people are so unconcerned and moving on. And they think, oh, they are praying because they think those who were killed, they don't know God. They weren't praying. They don't know how to pray. Or they don't have powerful men of God or whatever it is that are praying on their behalf. It's a wrong thing to think about. Let's always remember that yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. Tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. Who is next? Those who have been killed will not be killed again. The next to be killed are you and I that are alive. For the person that was killed recently, as of yesterday, he didn't know he was going to be killed. He thought he was safe. He was a survivor. And that's the way we are feeling too. And when these criminals come to kill, they do not discriminate your tribe, your religion, whatever. We are the ones who are weaving conspiracy theories. And instead of us to come united and deal with these killers, we are always weaving theories and say, oh, they're only killing Christians, they're only killing Muslims, they're only killing this tribe, they're only killing that tribe. These are killers. And their religion, their tribe do not matter. The only thing that they do is they kill. And they kill indiscriminately. They kill everyone. It is time for us to come together and put our heads together and face these killers head on and call out our government. Call out our government. Make life difficult for our government. Put our government toes on. Put it behind them for them to protect us. Because right now, they do not have any incentive to protect the citizens. They are getting away with anything. And this killing is increasing more and more and more. And this is not the way life should be. No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. And the state's apparatus should be deployed to safeguard every one of us and our properties. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.